Oh man, what the heck is wrong with Bitcoin? It seems like this is deja vu all over again. I was busy most of the day yesterday, didn't even check the market. Finally, got home around 9 p.m. last night. Look at the market. Damn, at that time Bitcoin dropped all the way down to about 43,000. The last time that we looked at Bitcoin was around November the 26th. At that time, I was really concerned that the chart showed Bitcoin was losing steam. I was expecting Bitcoin to retrace to about a 50,000 level. But at the 50,000 level, we would likely see some sort of support and that the price would bounce up from that point. Not a complete breakdown like this. The following is a recap of that video. But here is the problem. The minute the price tested this red line, which is the 10 days moving average, it get rejected right away. And today we saw this huge drop in price where Bitcoin dropped by over 8% and down to 53.5. So as long as Bitcoin is having problem cross over this 10 days moving average, we are at serious risk of Bitcoin even drop to about a 50,000 level. One of my biggest concern about Bitcoin has always been that Bitcoin been running up so much on very low volume. And every time when you have this sort of like bull run with low volume, we are susceptible to this sort of like major drop in price as we have seen here. Here, 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 and now it is happening today. Why do we have this sort of problem? Because when you are running up on low volume, it does not take that much for the short seller to push the price down. And the problem with this sort of like major drop up in price is it just takes a long time for Bitcoin to be able to stabilize and regain the losses. As you can see here, it takes like a few weeks to regain these losses. Same thing, a drop up here takes a few weeks to regain. And now we're seeing a drop up here. So there's a very high probability that it's going to take some time for Bitcoin to stabilize and then regain these losses. And that is one of the primary reasons why I don't believe that Bitcoin can reach 100,000 by the end of the year, as predicted by so many well-known analysts. Another thing is this major drop off now, especially with the 10 days drop below the 50 days, we are in this bearish situations. And the last time when the 10 days dropped below the 50 days was right at around the mid of September. And after that, we saw the price continue to trend lower until it reached the support of this upward channel. And fortunately, was able to find support, then bounce up. So there's a very high probability that we are going to see the price continue to trend lower and then eventually reach this support of this channel. And that would likely very near the 50,000 level. All right, let's fast forward. Right now it's 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on December the 4th. The last time we analyzed this chart was on November the 26th, right at the day that Bitcoin had this major drop in price. And at this time, I was really concerned because if you look at the chart, the minute the price broke down and dropped below the 10 days, after that, it continued to drift lower. And at this point, we had this bearish signal when the 10 days crossed over and dropped below the 50 days. And after that, every time when Bitcoin attempted to cross over and stabilize over this 10 days, it get rejected. The price retraced, then Bitcoin attempted to make this reversal in price. And for 2 straight days, as you can see, the price trended higher. But the minute it crossed over the 10-day, sellers step in, and for the next 3 days, the price struggled to stay over the 10 days. And then after that, finally broke down. Seller pretty much in control. They pushed the price down. And this day, the price closed below this 10 days moving average. The following day, as you can see, buyer tried to push the price up. But seller took control and they drove the price down. and the price very much broke down after that. And I was expecting that after it dropped to about 50,000, if we look at Bitcoin has been trending up following this upward channel. And every time when the price tests the support of this upward channel, buyers step in, pretty much took control and pushed the price up. I was expecting the same thing, which is right at around 50,000. We would likely see the buyer step in and push the price back up. That wasn't really the case. The price broke down completely, dropped all the way to below 42,000 at one point. And right now we see some recovery. Bitcoin is finally traded over this 200 days moving average. Right now it is trading at 47,500 or down about 12%. Another thing that I was really concerned about when we look at this chart, especially Bitcoin been trending up a lot from about 30,000 all the way to 68. But looking at the volume, we tend to see more red bar, and the red bar tend to be higher in volume than the green bar. And this to me is an indication that this run up is very hard to sustain, and we are very much susceptible to this sort of like big crash. I raised my concern back around the first week in September that Bitcoin was trending up on very low volume. Castle in the sand. So it's really my worst case scenario that we are seeing right now. No support at this support trend line. So the price is breaking down. It took Bitcoin 5 months plus to run up from about 30,000 to 60,000. It only took a couple of days to halve the gain, which is really sad. But anyway, I mean, this is what's happening right now. The best we can hope for is for Bitcoin to stabilize. Here is what we are looking at. Normally, when we have this major crash, we expect to see the price bounce up and continue to trend up, but that is not going to be the case. Most likely is after a major drop, we're going to see the price run up, but then there will be selling pressure. Hopefully that it would stabilize and trade over this 200 days moving average. The key here is this. Looking at this daily chart from the time Bitcoin started this reversal in price, it ran up to about 52,000, then retraced to about this 42,000 level, bounced up again and established this all-time high at 68,000. Now we see the price retrace, drop all the way and found support right at this prior low, which is around 42,000. So now it's bouncing up. Very likely that it would trade sideways and then will attempt to run up. The key is at the 52,000 level, it needs to be able to cross over that and stabilize over that, because a rejection at this 52,000 level, and if the price were to drop, then this could potentially form this very bearish head and shoulder pattern. And if this worst case scenario were to play out, then there is a probability for Bitcoin to retrace even lower than what we've seen today, which is right at around 42,000. Hopefully that is not going to be the case. Bitcoin is very resilient. So I do hope that we would likely see Bitcoin bounce up and eventually be able to cross over this 52,000 and stabilize over that. So hopefully we've seen the bottom at 42,000, and at this point Bitcoin would likely stabilize and trend up. All we can do right now is really hang tight. That's it for this video, and don't forget to click that like button and reward me with a like if you appreciate the content that I'm presenting. Also, if you are new to my channel, don't forget to click that subscribe button and subscribe, and make sure you turn notification on. And if you have Twitter, make sure you follow me at Vietmaxim, because I provide constant update on all of our favorite cryptos.